everyone. Thank you for having me. This city is very special for me. I have been a part of some projects over here since 4 years now. And of course, like everyone, the first impression was the city so clean and so beautiful. Of course, I come from Mumbai, so I don't have really high standards from coming from the city. But could you please adjust the aspect ratio? It's very wide. Thoda kam. So I have been, of course, while traveling to different cities, you understand that form always wants to follow function. Like all of us are architects, we want to make sure that, function is taken care of. But function, of course, it's not just, your user. A lot of times while we are practicing, we understand that function follows construction time, the client permissions, budget permits, and only if the industry is skilled enough. So there's a lot of parameters. That is why we are also seeing how the art, everything around us is changing and becoming, uglier by the day, more standardized. There's no character to anything that we are building. And everything is becoming so bland nowadays that it is, directly designed nowadays by the contractor itself. So how do we make sure that we still build beautiful cities? Because originally, we started with making beautiful cities, right? This is an example of that, where this is in Austria, built in 1902 and 2023. There's a huge difference. Of course, we can debate about what art is and etc. But I wanted to just say that, if you want to go to a city and you feel it's beautiful, it's largely because of the architecture. Because, of course, you can have a very beautiful city, but if the architecture doesn't support that, slowly the city will also become, the fabric will also become similar to that. So beauty is something that is driven by the human mind. It is very scientific how we perceive beauty. And a lot of times, most of the times I think, beauty gives us comfort. Where does comfort come from? It comes from various mathematical equations which we are not even aware of, because nature is quite mathematical. I'm sure you have observed how there are fractals in nature, how even a tree canopy is very mathematical. We had architects in the past who were, building these kind of beautiful objects, beautiful infrastructure, which was derived from these mathematical principles. Over the time, of course, it became difficult. It takes more time. It takes more effort, energy, money. So we started going on a very simplistic way. Now everyone loves doing minimalism. But can we go back to what was making us happy? Can we go back to building things and architecture which is, driven by nature? So this is some of the examples where we have been able to do that as architects. But I'm also going to plug in a couple of our projects. This one project that you can see on the left is one of the seats that we have designed outside the TU Kursara Museum in Visakhapatnam. And there is one project which is the Matka Chowk, which we have designed in Chandigarh. I had the privilege of meeting Sir S.D. Sharma then in the Heritage Committee. So we have tried to, emulate the waves over here in front of the beach, which is on the RK beach. And we have tried to emulate birds which are flocking around the Matka for Chandigarh. So these are some of the things that, of course, we try as a firm. In the future, is mathematics only going to solve it? Of course not. I'm not going to be advocating that, okay, only mathematics will solve this. But it does help. It does help in optimizing our firm. It does help in understanding that the material cost, the time required, and the construction cost that is attached to making a building can be optimized to reduce our wastage in various ways. So yes, we are able to at least, optimize our firm, our loads, and vendor analysis, of course, which over the time, over the project period, we are able to understand how we have reduced on, our footprint of the carbon footprint of the project. Now, through these tools that we have devised, we do use, we are able to create more comfortable environments in the same project. And also, in turn, because of these processes, we are able to create buildings which are more beautiful looking, maybe, and which will be unique from each other, but yet it will be inspired from nature. So that is the kind of thing. Of course, this video was not playing, but yeah, this is an optimization video of how we reach to an optimal stage where we were able to reduce the radiation on the building depending on the context, because a lot of time it's not just, you know, a north, east, north, south, and west that you have to look at because of the sun radiation, but also the buildings around, which really contribute to how much natural light comes into the building. So this is a commercial building that we were able to optimize the facade, for which, you know, so we sort of have like a twisted floor plate, which really, you know, optimizes the natural northern light and, you know, reduces the southern light coming into the building. We try to shy away from a lot of glass. That's why we have used a lot of stone. Of course, still maintaining the you know, commercial look of the space. Biophilia is one of the new terms, thankfully coined, which is like a new trending thing. But of course, this was much before that was trending. Another project that we have managed to optimize was this bungee jumping arena. We tried to at least. So we understood the main stresses, and we understood that, okay, we need to only and only have the main loads through this spine. The rest of the structure could be lighter. We could reduce the load by 10% on this structure. It is a 25-meter cantilever structure. So we helped the structural engineers to reduce it by understanding the morphology ourselves. It is very important to, for us as an architect to also understand the loads now, and to also understand that it's not the structural engineer's capability, or it's not the structural engineer's responsibility alone to make sure the structure is optimal and the structure is more sustainable. It is our responsibility as well. So we have to basically have a to and fro with the structural engineer to make sure it is, getting to a solution which is good for the project. This is again a structure that we are doing in catenary form, similar to the previous one. Catenary is one of the arches, which is the most stable form of geometry, uses the least amount of material, and is quite stable. So this was also used by Antonio Gaudi. We have just tried to emulate that in our project. Of course, we have to understand the wind also coming from Mumbai. Most of these projects that you see are from Mumbai. So it's quite challenging to also work with, that kind of a, coming from the coast. Of course, Visakhapatnam is also a cyclone-prone zone. So similar kind of atmosphere over there. This is another project that we are working in collaboration. This is one project which is a prelude to the Vizag Planetarium. That's why I wanted to show this project over here. We are working as parametric consultants over here. So we not only have our projects, which previously most of our projects were like solely from our firm, but this is in collaboration with Hiten Sethi Architects, which are from Navi Mumbai. So we are working on this science park, which is a very beautiful structure which was envisioned, and we had to create an envelope. And currently it is under construction. So we have to create an envelope which is sort of like a spherical structure. The entire geometry was the complex part. We might think that it's a straightforward grid structure, lattice grid structure that we have to create, and the structural engineers will directly get it. But there's a lot of things, not just on the envelope, right? You have a roof, you have the entries. There are a lot of nodes which don't connect to each other if they are not well designed. So we were gotten in the stage where the geometry had to be simplified. It had to be simplified to the stage where glass could be added on it. Calzip could be added on the roof, and that's how we have started working on this project. We understood the entire geometry. We understood where it is opaque, where it is open, where it is completely transparent. And then, started working on it. So you can see how these three different skins work with each other. And, we are trying to understand what geometry goes with this skin and what we can achieve as a result of what the architect has imagined initially. So this was the original grid we got, and there is a node variation. If you can see the node size, there's a lot of variation that we did, and to understand that any spherical structure, when you divide it into a digrid structure to make it basically constructible, you always get these nodes on either sides. Now the sphere can be on top and the bottom, which is sort of like not a required thing because you have to give entries, and it was not a buildable thing because you can imagine a lot of steel structures tapering into each other. They will collide and become really thin structures which will not, take the load. So then we devised such a way that these nodes are now uniform, but they are near the entry. So they need not be, tapered at all, and you will get a more uniform grid throughout. So this is what the architect also liked, and even the people who actually hired us, the contractors, because it was an EPC contract. So they also like, okay, this we can build at least. I know this project will go ahead, so let's go with this. So this is finally what is going ahead. This picture is under construction. Of course, we have to go to site, make sure that all these nodes and pinches are working correctly. There's a lot of to and fro. I saw the presentation where the designers had done a lot of effort with the ceiling, and I think it is very similar to this in a different scale, but that's how we have started like a dozen years ago, 12 years ago also. So I'm hoping you get to more projects like that also. So yeah, this is continuous process, it's a loop. We have to understand our vendors, we have to understand our contractors, we have to make sure that all of the functions which the architect has aligned are still working apart from this. So it's sort of like a loop, a design loop we call, and we get to it. This is one of our favorite projects, and I think it's quite relevant to this beautiful city. So I wanted to present this nicely. So I just rushed through the previous projects. I'm sorry for that. This is the planetarium that we have envisioned and designed for Kailashgiri in Visakhapatnam. I'm sure you're aware of Kailashgiri. It's one of the most beautiful locations you can have a view from. I think even internationally, I have not seen a location which is so pristine when you look at, from the views from there. So you can see almost the entire city from there. And of course, for everyone who is not from Vizag, this visual is for that you can even see Kailashgiri written from the flight. When I was landing, every time I land to Visakhapatnam, I see the letters, and I feel so happy about it because it's such a beautiful thing. Of course, it needs a lot of development, which is more holistic, like Sir pointed out. But yeah, so this concept, I'm going to take 2 minutes. This concept was sort of come from a black hole. That is what the initial concept was, that we want to make a planetarium which sort of looks like a black hole from far. So that is what we have tried to manage to do. We wanted to conceptualize how a black hole looks. So this, of course, a black hole is a very imaginary body. NASA had taken this image some time ago, if you remember, this image, and we tried to abstract it to make it into a geometrical form. Very difficult task. There was a lot of iterations of how actually we can do it. We parametricized it. We actually tried to find equations for how actually NASA has, the body has formed, the black hole has formed. But yeah, this is what we could achieve from that. The geometry is like, there's sort of like 2 rings around the planetarium dome. This is sort of the vista points of how you can actually see the planetarium from around there's a mini train which goes around Kailashgiri, and from different points how you can visualize the planetarium. It consists of, of course, natural history, because a science museum is also part of the entire structure. Consists of space and other science activities like science and maths, exhibits. So there was a lot of different things that can happen around the planetarium. This is the structural kind of element that we have taken. It's fully a steel structure, and the dome is sort of tensile, which goes inside. I will just end at this. This is how we have envisioned it. A lot of effort and a lot of iterations have gone through for us to get to this point where this dome is this really lit dome, which is a live dome, what we call, with, like an LED dome where you can have different kind of projections and have different kind of activities related to Vishakhapatnam, which can be projected on that, because this site is seen from the main road, and the projection on that will be seen at all times. So we wanted it sort of to be like a iconic a dome projection system. Of course, the interiors also were designed in such a way that each and every aspect of what infrastructure is not present in Vizag could be present over here, so that kids, aspiring mathematics and science enthusiasts can go, have a look, maybe enjoy the library, understand. Even of course, there's an observatory also. So, during events, astronomically significant events, one can, go and observe the sky. So a lot of thought has gone into it, and we are hoping that it will get materialized soon. So this is the observatory, and of course then you enter the planetarium. It's a 180-seater dome that we have designed. So each and everything to do with it is like an experience. It's like you get from a space which is so huge and coming through, like a play of natural light and a shadow, and then you get into the dome, which is a completely different experience, completely dark. So we have like a passage which will, take you from the more lit space to a darker space, so that your eyes are not hampered, or your eyes can adjust to it. Of course, then you get out and you move into the museum experience. So this museum, again, was a lot of, research on what all is present around the world and what all can happen here. So what we try to do here is a mix of exhibits, which is temporary and permanent. So this is sort of like a temporary exhibit where whatever is happening around the world, say, Chandrayaan has happened, so ISRO will have their exhibition over here. Maybe there's an art event which is happening in Vizag. So then, that can be part of this. So it is sort of like that. Then this was all at the upper level. Once you go to the lower level, you have all the science and space museums. So this is especially the space for ISRO, where all of the permanent exhibits will be over there. Of course, there's like ancillary activities like a library. Of course, kids and any science enthusiasts can enjoy this space. And basically, it's sort of like a collaboration space for everyone interested in astronomy. Of course, you have to have state-of-the-art exhibition. So there's, everything has either projection or like interactive motion sensors, interactive exhibits, etc. So all of that is also thought of and detailed out. Even things like a cafe on the left, if you see, there are these standing tables, which are part of the cafe. So it also has to go around with the, has to go with the aesthetics of the space. So every detail is, detailed out such that it goes with the entire scheme of things. And the dome can be seen from both the levels, from the outside as well as inside, which is this. Yeah, I'm almost done, don't worry. Don't worry, it's all done. This is some of the works we do, and I have to catch a flight immediately after that, so unfortunately I won't be able to get in touch with you, but if you want to, please take a picture of this and scan the barcode and get my contact. I would love to talk to all of you, especially the jurors. I have been meaning to talk to you, but I couldn't. But thank you so much for having me here, and I'm hoping to see you soon in another city.